Ladies and gents, you join me with a Fiat Punto, a Red Bull, and the hopes and dreams I can get this thing back on the road. This is a £750 Fiat Punto that the owner bought quite recently. He got an MOT on it, and well, the MOT list is quite frankly massive, and it was basically a write-off. The garage, I think, we're quoting something around the £2,000 mark. So what we're going to be doing today is fixing up the rest of the parts, which will include the front suspension and drive shafts. We've already done a little bit of work over the last 48 hours as well. We've done the rear shocks, we've restored the headlights and replaced the battery. However, we've still got the front suspension and drive shafts to do. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and well, wish me luck.
The pussy wagon has arrived.
So, I'm just going to walk around the car with this massive list and basically go through what we've done, what needs to be done. Starting at the rear. Yesterday I replaced these rear shocks. You probably can't really see them very well, but they are brand new, I promise. And I mean, that was a pretty quick job. It was just a few bolts and in and out, really. And my friend Matt also helped out. So,
You sure you don't need an extension? Or are you right?
Fine.
The rust in my arm.
what we also did was a headlight restoration. So these headlights, believe it or not, were actually much worse. They were covered in a thick yellow from sun damage or whatever it is and all the weathering. So we did a proper restoration on that, polishing, and hopefully that should also pass the MOT now. The battery, replaced that, which is quite nice. Just get that out of the way because the car kept dying on us. Nice. So today what we're going to be doing is completely removing pretty much most of the suspension on the front and the drive shaft. So that'll mean I've got to drain the gearbox, take the drive shafts out, replace parts of the suspension including track rod ends, lower suspension arms and all that fun stuff. Now, in order to remove and fit the new drive shafts, we had to drain the gearbox oil. However...
So Harry, what's happened?
Don't worry about it, mate.
What have you drained that's wrong?
So, I was trying to drain the gearbox oil, and I think I might have drained the engine oil. So, I just took out all the engine oil, and the actual one is here. About a foot in the wrong direction. So yeah, luckily this engine doesn't seem to take a lot of engine oil, so it's not an expensive mistake, but it's an inconvenience. Eh?
Not coming out.
Well, it definitely is where the gearbox oil goes, because there is a couple of drips coming out, but you've lost all of your gearbox oil.
How's that happen?
Quite a bad leak, I'd guess.
Now, after the scary realisation that this car had been driving around with no gearbox oil, I decided to continue and take off the suspension and drive shafts anyway.
Right, now what we're going to do is remove the drive shafts. To remove the drive shafts, I have this pretty big bolt in here that I need to take off. I'm not very hopeful, to be honest with you. I'm going to try it with the impact and my wrench, but I have a feeling we might have to buy a breaker bar based off of what we've seen so far. But yeah, I'll give it a shot. But basically, once we've changed the drive shaft, well, taken this off, then we can start taking apart the suspension as well and just replacing bits really, so yeah. Alright, let's give it a shot. It actually worked. I was not expecting that. This car really does surprise me. So what we're going to start doing now is removing some of the bits of suspension and that are holding the wheel hub here, because obviously it's not going to go anywhere just yet. So
now here I'm removing all the suspension components that are attached to the wheel hub. This is to give me better access to the drive shaft so that I can remove it. Whilst I was here, I also replaced the track rod end as that kind of needed doing, and I had the part there. So now moving on to the driver's side. When I did the passenger side, it went pretty smoothly, everything came out pretty easily. Unfortunately on this side, it was just almost impossible to take off the track rod end and the drive shaft, so I was really struggling. I felt pretty defeated at this point, so you'll now see that.
So the Fiat has beaten me, sort of. To put it short, basically this driver side drive shaft is not coming out as easily, and neither is the track rod end. So that's soaking in WD-40, and I'm just attacking this thing with a pry bar. So hopefully you'll hear an update soon where I go, oh, it's all good now and we fixed it. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I've been here all day, and yeah, it's taken its toll on me. I think I'm going to need a therapist. Yeah, hopefully see you in the next clip when everything's done. Stupid.
So by this point, I'd pretty much lost all hope, but luckily I called up my friend Matt and he came straight there, and it enabled us to actually remove the track rod end and the drive shaft. As you can see, he was very happy with that, and so was I. This is his celebratory dance. So the next job was to remove the bolts that were holding the wishbone onto the chassis of the car. At this point it was getting pretty dark, and really annoyingly the bolts would not come off, and we did end up actually rounding off a pretty important one. So basically the story is that we rounded off a bolt to take off the wishbone. This bolt down here we couldn't get off, so what we've done is we used a smaller socket because we rounded it off, and then forced the jack underneath to push the socket onto the bolt, and it's actually working. So after myself and Matt's stroke of genius, we did continue to remove the other two bolts that were holding the wishbone on. Unfortunately, we do want to carry on, but as you can see, it was getting pretty dark, so we had to wait till the next day. We've got mechanic Matt on the case. It's day 100 of the Fiat Punto. 100. That is right in there. We're replacing the auxiliary belt. There we go. Okay, Matt is down in the engine somewhere.
Can you see him?
A little bit, yeah.
Just replacing the belt now. He's loosened off the alternator, and now doing magic.
Look at that! It's beautiful! I am happy.
Now, as you can see, me and Matt successfully fitted a new auxiliary belt. Unfortunately today we didn't actually have time to continue with the suspension bits or drive shafts, but yeah, we decided to do that the next day, so cue that now.
So you joined me on what I think is day 3, but I've had some time off from this car. I wasn't feeling very well. I might still sound a bit off. Anyway, so today we're just going to be finishing off everything that we started. So need to put the new drive shaft in, as we've taken the old one out, and also put the new lower suspension arm or wishbone on the car. And then we should be able to kind of just put everything back together, fill the gearbox back up with oil, and yeah, be on our way to get an MOT. So what I'm going to do is jack up the car, get it in the air, and well, take this wheel off and get back to it all, really. So there we go, that is the lower suspension arm or wishbone, whatever you want to call it. The reason why I'm replacing this is because this ball joint here on the other one's leaking, so we've had to get a new one. So Matt is now on his way down. He's just called me to tell me, so yeah, that'll be good and hopefully very useful, because me and him just seem to work very well together with this sort of stuff. Ow! So this is the beautiful Matthew. Are you ready?
No. That hurt.
So the reason this failed for the MOT is you can see all that grease leaking out from the joint there. So where that ball joint is, there's a bit of rubber over it, and it's split, so it's leaking. Hence why we're replacing this whole part. We've got those 2 bolts over there done from last time, and so now we've just got this one here to do. Hopefully it comes out a bit easier than the others. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. If you get the spanner on there, and I'll just use the impact to get it off quick. Right. I've got the bolt out. That needs a clean. I know you want to give it a clean.
I'll give it a clean.
So here we're separating the wheel hub from the wishbone in preparation to fit the new drive shaft.
So now, we can move this maybe. Oh yeah. So we've taken out the old linkage thing, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, something with a
Something which it just goes
arms or
here.
whatever.
And yeah, so we're just putting a new one in on this side, just because in there as well, if we're taking the wishbone out as well. So Matt's down there being a legend. That beautiful face.
So here I'm inserting a new wishbone. This actually proved to be much more difficult than I thought it would be, and we're here for quite a while.
So we're jacking up the suspension so that we could align the wheel hub with these bolts here, and then yeah, the new wishbone is in. So happy days.
Very nice.
Nice. So far we have got the new wishbone in. We've got pretty much everything done. All we need to do now is insert the new drive shaft, then change the gearbox oil, and we should be pretty much on our way. Do that. Don't put too much strain on that. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you?
Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump.
So here we're putting everything back together, including the drive shafts, which went in pretty easily. It took a bit longer than the passenger side, but we got there. And then we're just bolting everything all back together, and once the wheels are on, we're pretty much ready to go.
So you join me and Matthew today. I'm giving him a mic because he's bloody annoying. And basically, yesterday we almost finished everything. We kind of fitted everything except for one pretty important item apparently, which was the anti-roll bar.
And it wasn't just the anti-roll bar that needs to be sorted. When I was fitting the new track rod ends on the driver's side, it was so difficult to install them that we actually ended up completely getting the car out of alignment by quite a lot, which meant we've had to completely retrack the car to get it driving straight again, which you'll now see.
That looks straight.
It's not straight. Look at the right, now look at the left. So that means it needs...
Bonk. Hammer. Stupid thing! Stop moving! Ow.
No way.
Are you sure?
Right, attempt number 1 at aligning. No previous attempt has been done.
I reckon we should start a business where we just align people's wheels, but it takes like 10 times longer than it should.
Our motto can be something like, yeah, it'll be somewhat aligned,
You'll go sort of straight.
but make sure you don't go 50 miles an hour.
No, yeah, there's no warranty. we can't be putting... No. Back under the car.
Yeah.
I love this bit, it's my favourite.
Attempt number 1. There you go.
Yeah, we're in business?
Yeah, we are in doggy daycare business. There's 3 ply my son, 2 and done.
What do you mean, why? I was trusting you.
It looks pretty close to me.
Back off with the wheel.
Attempt number 1.
Attempt number 1, yeah. I've never aligned anything before.
Yeah, neither. Let's just wing it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think we should just see what happens.
And on our definitely first attempt of aligning the wheels, we decided to take it on a test drive and see if all our hard work over the last few days has paid off. So after a very successful test drive, we decided that we were happy with our work and the owner could go get his tyres sorted and get the car re-MOT'd. And now you'll see the results. We're extremely happy with these results. We didn't even get a single advisory whatsoever, so I'd say that was a pretty successful restoration. If you'd like to see more of this sort of content, then please let us know, because we'd love to do more car flipping and fixing stuff up. You know, we really enjoy it, and hopefully you'll see a bit more of Matt on the channel as well. So if you liked him, let us know.